Hey everyone, it's Candy and the Foundations for Success and my fishing formula. I have a special guest today who is willing to do a testimonial for us, and his name is Greg. So I'd like to introduce Greg. Say hello, Greg.
Hello, everyone.
So, Greg, what was it about my program, the fishing formula, that made you decide that you wanted to join and take the course itself?
Well, at the time, I was in the middle of doing some work with Amazon and uh, arbitraging through uh, Amazon, and so I was really quite kind of frustrated because I wasn't really getting traction that I had hoped, and it was really a lot of work, and it was not passive work at all. It was active. So if I stopped working, then obviously my income was going to stop as well. But what attracted me to what you're offering is that you can do it all from home like you can Amazon. So that appealed to me like it did with Amazon. But with this, you're also helping out other people at the same time. You're not just lining your own pockets. So Amazon and its strategies, of course, you're getting rich because other people are buying things. But what you're doing is you're really helping people out, and you're giving them the truth behind what often is some deception that is in the financial world. So that really appealed to me, and especially because my wife and I we're struggling with our finances, so it was right up our alley. And so, and obviously, I had worked with you before, and so I had some previous work relationships, and I trusted you. So yeah, it's that trust that really helped me come back to you and see what you were doing.
Cool. Well, that was awesome. So you made a comment there about with Amazon that if you weren't working, you weren't making money. So maybe give a little insight into, do you have to always be working every day with what you've been learning through the fishing formula? Or is it something that once you've set it up, you can choose to uh, just sort of let it run for a while?
Yeah, no, that's the brilliance of it. Once you do set it up, then you can let it run. Obviously, if you want to grow your business, you want to put some extra effort into it. But essentially, the concepts that you're teaching, once you get those set up, then the system just sort of runs itself, so to speak. And that's really what was appealing to me, or at least one of the aspects that was appealing.
Excellent. And you were saying that you and your wife were sort of struggling financially when we first met. Now that you've gone through the program and you've learned some different ways to work with your money and your debt and stuff like that, do you guys see yourselves being able to get rid of that debt fairly quickly?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the success stories I already have to share is that in the last month, we've been putting into practice what you've been teaching. And so since the beginning of December until now, we've paid off about $6,400 towards our credit card debt.
Awesome.
And that doesn't mean more income. It just means by reallocating how we're spending our money and paying off our debt. So it was just we can't believe it even today. It's just amazing. My wife is tickled pink.
Well, and your wife was the one that really didn't get it for a while there either, right? She was not really sure what she thought of the whole thing, and she had to go and look at it by herself and sort of take it apart and decide if this is right. And and this is what you've done. That's fantastic. And without increasing your income yet. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, that's 1 month.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I'm also working on the sale of my condo, and if that actually goes through, which I'm very confident will because of your teachings, we stand to make about $40,000 in revenue, plus by refinancing some portions of our mortgage. Not refinancing, but reallocating the way it's set up. There's another $300 a month cash flow that we'll realize.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for you guys. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
Wow. And how long has it been since the course ended that you were in? It's just been like a month, I
a
think.
month. Yeah.
Wow, not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad. Yeah,
Right on.
way
Well,
better than Amazon.
yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're having a struggle with that as well for many different reasons, which we won't go into because this isn't about Amazon. But so maybe what is it that you would say to somebody who's looking at this at taking the fishing formula for either understanding how their debt works and how to get on top of it and restructure and or to make money in real estate or both?
Yeah, I would say if you're facing what you think are roadblocks that can't be overcome, give this course a try, because what I'm discovering is that many of the obstacles we face in life, personally or financially or whatever it may be, is that we've put hurdles into our own minds, or maybe we've been fed some deception or lies, and until we uncover that, we don't think that there's any options for us. But what I'm discovering is that there always tends to be an option, and you just have to dig in to find out what those are. And that's what your course is teaching us.
Yeah, and when you talk about deceptions, are you talking about like basically around finances and mortgages and stuff like that, and how that works?
Exactly. Like what the banks lead you to believe is they're helping you out, but really they're helping themselves out, of course, because we always hear in the news how much profit that they're making. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're making profits for a reason. It's off our finances, essentially.
And then with the real estate side of things, so the way I teach the fishing formula, is there any renovations required when you do that?
No, and that's the other brilliance about this, is that um, you don't have to do any renovations. And I've done renovations before personally, and it's a lot of work, and it usually costs more than you think, and it takes more time than you think, and you have to live through the dust and all that. So with your program, you don't have to do that at all. In fact, because of your experience, been down that road yourself, right? So you
Yeah.
know that that isn't the way to usually do it if you want to do it the right way. You can do it that way, but yeah, it's not going to be the best approach for what you're teaching.
So when you do the fishing formula compared to say doing flips or buying rentals or rent to owns or any of those others, when you do fishing, are you able to know what your profits are going to be worst case scenario before you even sign on a contract?
Absolutely. In fact, you do your homework so you know what the outcomes are for yourself, and also for what the client is needing out of the deal. And you come to an agreement, and both sides of the party are going to be winners. So ahead of the time, you already know what you're going to have for your own outcomes.
That's really cool. And so so when you set this up, when you look at the fishing formula, did you find that it was really cool that you could actually buy a property at fair market value and sell a property at fair market value and still make money?
Yeah, I thought, how could that be possible? Somebody's got to lose here, but it's not that way at all. Everyone is winning and getting what they're wanting out of the deal. And the best part is that the banks aren't really being the ones that are winning at all. Finally, we get to take the profits, or take the value that's being offered. So, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad you're having such success. So, if somebody was sitting on the fence and thinking about whether or not they should join the fishing program, if it's really, as good as what I've been saying it is, what would you say to them?
Well, we've been talking mainly about finances, but I would say my wife has noticed a big change in me personally, in my attitude, and how I'm approaching problems. And so, with that alone, if you're running into some struggles yourself and you just don't see any options, just on a personal level, this will help you out. Whether or not you're going to make the money back if you put the time and effort into what you're teaching is another matter. But just the value that you get personally on what you're teaching, I think that's worth the price of admission right there.
Awesome.
But it's
Cool.
also, in my opinion, a no-brainer. You're going to make your money back, guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like, well, like you said, you're going to get personal growth. You're going to have a very good understanding of where it is that you're going in life and why you want to be, doing certain things and how to get rid of debt and how to understand how debt works, and just the knowledge around that, I think, like you were saying, is going to be beneficial to people. But I thought that was really cool how you added what your wife was saying about yourself, because one of the things that really drives me to coach this, to teach my program, and instead of just keeping it to myself and just continuing to do this, because I still do the business. I don't just teach, I do and teach. But the reason I share it is because I've seen what debt does to people. I know how destructive it is. I know how people can sometimes be so stressed out that, it's hard to function and it's hard to be happy. And that affects your family. It affects your kids. It affects the people around you. And if you're worried about money, and especially if you're worried about it and you're not telling anybody about it, you've got this huge, heavy weight and a secret at the same time. And that can really weigh on people's uh, self worth and feelings of inadequacy. But to see that it actually can affect you in a personal way, and when that weight is lifted, and you know that, hey, it's working, and it's not just in theory, but it's happening, and it's happening fast. It's neat to see that it actually changes how you feel. Like, you feel lighter, don't you?
You sure do, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
really feel positive, and just the outlook in life
And
changes.
there's hope, right?
Oh, big time, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's so great. Well, thank you so much for your testimonial. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go? Just anything you want to share at all?
Yeah, the other thing that comes to mind is that with other mentoring programs that I've been a part of, and I'll go back to Amazon, the availability of the coach or the person that was helping me out was limited, and so it was certain hours of the day. And what I'm finding with yourself is that you make yourself available on a schedule, but you're always very quick to respond. And I find that that's so helpful, because when you're learning like I am, there's certain questions that you don't know the answer to, but you coach us, you want us to succeed. And so that just comes through so evident. And that's unlike many courses that I've taken before in the past.
Oh, I'm so glad you feel that way. It makes me feel so good to know that, when you need help, you can reach out to me, and it makes me feel great. I'm really good. I don't even know what to say. I'm just happy. I'm just grateful. And you guys fill my life just as much as I fill yours. So that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and I'll let you go because I know it's later in the evening, and you are willing to do this with me. But thank you so much, Greg, and I look forward to seeing you. I'm probably going to be jumping in on the study group this weekend, so if you're there, I will probably see you there.
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.